What is up, everybody? Hello and welcome to the GVGCast, episode 54. Happy Friday. I'm your host this week, even though the usual one is like right over my shoulder. I'm Steve Bowling. I'm joined, as always, by my good friend and GVG co-founder, Ash Paulson. And for the first time in a really long time, both halves of the Good Vibes Arcade crew. I'm talking, of course, about Brandon, actually a dad miracle, and Daniel Alba. He's not making a Yoshi's documentary, people.
Oh, I'm not! Jesus Christ!
So many people misunderstood that. It's hilarious watching it unfold.
He's making a human.
Oh my gosh.
I was shocked, Brandon. I couldn't even get to what we're doing yet because I was so flabbergasted. I saw that tweet, and obviously we all knew. We're friends here. We knew. But I saw that tweet and I was like, there's no way anyone could misread this. And then I went to the replies.
Yeah.
I tried to make it as forthcoming as possible. Like, it says a miracle is coming. My last name is Miracle. Miracle's commonly associated with babies. There's a Yoshi egg. It's a game about babies.
I thought it was pretty obvious myself, man. I was like, I knew. I mean, maybe I went into it with the benefit of already knowing that you were having a kid, so maybe that helps. But I was like, I thought this was pretty clear.
Like, at this point, I don't know if she says actually gets it. Xeon was having a crisis. I don't know who knows and who doesn't know at this point.
I thought she says was like doing a really good like deadpan joke about it.
I thought so too.
Pretty
but
clever,
now I'm
my
not
guy.
sure.
So she says, if you're watching, and we know you often do, 1, we love you. 2, we have to know. We have to know if you knew, man. You know, I will tell him though, to his credit, if he didn't know, he is also a new father, so he might be really tired.
You know what? Fair enough.
Fair play.
I also had Arlo come in making what I'm pretty sure was a joke.
Arlo is a lovely person.
Said something along the lines of, this is going to be a really big, beefy Yoshi's Island video essay or something.
Oh my god.
And I replied with, yeah, this essay is going to have years of content.
Brandon just feeding the misunderstanding. So
I mean,
chaos.
yesterday it was funny, or the day before it was funny. Now I'm just concerned that I'm going to have like this army of people who bookmarked my tweet that are going to come to my Twitter that day to find out there's no video.
No Yoshi
Yoshi
video, just a baby, 0 out of 10.
Just a baby.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We're so happy for you, though, man. That's awesome. Obviously, we're happy for you.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Of course.
Yes.
I've known for months. I've been dying to
I know.
release information. And you have a video of me reacting to your information.
Oh, I forgot to tweet that out. I
You
gotta do
still
that.
need to post. Well, I already knew.
That might help
Just,
at this point.
Yeah, I'm going to tweet that out later.
So at least one person will be like, God damn, Daniel really loves Yoshi. He's so excited. They won't even hear what comes before. We've all been up to quite a bit lately. Maybe not as much as Brandon. Brandon's been a little busier than the rest of us. But Daniel, I understand you have some news of your own. He's not making a baby. I'm just putting that one out there.
No, I'm not.
As far as we know.
I'm not having a child. Not yet. So next week is a little event online on Discord called EmblemCon. I've been a part of EmblemCon for a few years now, working as their art director, and I did a little video ad explaining what that is. And I think we have it loaded up to just show a quick ad. I'm sorry to disrupt and move the GVGcast schedule a little bit, but I think Steve might have that ready to play if you all want to just check that out real quick.
I was waiting for you to say roll it. Come on.
All right, Steve, roll it.
All that beautiful bean footage.
Hell yeah.
Hey everyone, so good to see you. Do you like Fire Emblem? I might be a fan, and if you are too, have I got just the place for you to check out. Mark your calendars from May 5th to May 7th. EmblemCon is an entirely fan-made, fan-driven, virtual convention held primarily over Discord. Our community spends a full 3 days talking about Fire Emblem, everything from the characters to the stories, unit builds, the side games, best boys and girls, and pretty much everything in between. Much like a traditional convention, we will have specific booths of our carefully chosen artists and exhibitors, where you can check out their fantastic work, have a friendly chat with them, and support their art right from the comfort of your home. That's me! We will also be hosting a wide variety of panels via Twitch during the event, with our artists, our cosplayers, our other creatives, including Q&A sessions and discussions with English voice actors throughout the Fire Emblem series. Look at these wonderful people. These panels can be unpredictable and go to some pretty wild places, so if you don't want to miss out on the fun, you want to join in, have a chat, even maybe get your questions answered, go ahead and follow that Discord link up above, or right here. It's somewhere up there. I know we got it somewhere. You'll be notified once panels begin and are free to browse the entire server and artist alleys for the full 72 hours. It's also completely free to join. That would drive Anna crazy. Although if you're like me, you might find your wallet bleeding anyways because, man, these artists, they're too good every year. But that's a good thing. Support your artists. So we would love it if you came by, say hello, and just have a good time at one of the biggest Fire Emblem events held online. Thanks so much for your time. Till we meet at EmblemCon.
There you have it. EmblemCon, May 5th to May 7th. I don't know any of the other details from the video because I forgot to set it up to where I could hear it. So, you look great, Daniel. I love your Lynn shirt. I'm sure it was very interesting. I was just staring at you, mouthing words at me the whole time. But yeah, go check out EmblemCon. Apparently it's free. If there's more stuff you want to say, I literally don't know the talking points.
I know. Can you guys hear me though? I think my audio flipped out while I was... Okay, good. Pretty much it's on Discord. If you want to go to the Twitter link at the EmblemCon, that shows you all the info you need to know. There's a link to show you our schedule, other information. We're doing announcements of VAs as we speak. And yeah, if you love Fire Emblem, it's free to join. It's a convention. You don't need to spend $1. So go ahead and stop on by. You can say hello to me. And also, I'll be interviewing some of the VAs that we have over that weekend. So yeah, very cool. That's pretty much it.
Nice. Yeah, well, thank you. And Ash, speaking of voice actors, you're the one with the pedigree in the room. You also have some news, don't you? You didn't make a baby either. The hell's wrong?
I did not make a baby. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for hosting today, Steve, because I came down with a case of norovirus this week, and I have been feeling like death. Words of the wise: don't get norovirus out there. Anybody, don't get it. It sucks. It's the worst thing.
Yeah,
so I'm here, but I'm very low energy and just kind of out of it. So I appreciate you hosting, man. As for the thing that I'm going to be doing, so I'm going to be taking part in a charity stream called Transcend VR tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific, and this is a charity stream to fight anti-trans youth bills and laws and support their affected families. So it's obviously for a really good cause. It's a 24-hour VR chat stream, actually, and it just started today. It's going for a week, and it actually started today at 1 p.m. Pacific. So if you have a chance, go check it out now. But I specifically will be on tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific for an hour and a half, just chatting, having a good time, talking to folks, and raising money for, a really good cause and fighting anti-trans laws and bills.
Nice. That's awesome. That's a great cause. Go check Ash out tomorrow.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
But of course, all of you, and I mean all of you, even Baby Miracle, are trumped by our episode's one and only sponsor. You know who I'm talking about. You've been here 54 times already. It's the Game Orb. The Game Orb is a YouTube channel that brings commentary and gameplay footage from the Nintendo Switch and Xbox Series X gaming systems. While games like Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu can be seen on the channel along with others, the Game Orb will also now be adding Splatoon 3, Super Mario Sunshine, and Fall Guys to the gaming collection. Be sure to subscribe to the Game Orb at the link in the description, or, as my pal Ash already did here, pinned in YouTube chat. If you're watching us live, go subscribe. Help them grow. They've been helping us since the beginning. They absolutely deserve it. Show them your love. One more time for the Game Orb. We love you.
Ooh, Game Orb. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Why did I do that when Brandon's here?
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
That's
the
real one.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and get to some super chats real quick because we have a good stack of them. It's almost like stuff's been happening while we've been talking. Disney Duncan with $2 says, finally got a new floor in my room. Floods suck, which, ouch. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, that's awful.
And Disney Duncan back to back. Apparently there has been a bit of MCU hate lately. Why is that? I have liked every MCU movie and show. I don't know why there's hate. I would say that some people are starting to get fatigued. Like, MCU's been going on for a while. I'm not one of them. I still go to most, if not all, MCU movies like within the week they come out. But I can understand it a little bit, because the more you expose to something, the more tropes begin to form, and the more tropey something gets, the more people get tired of it. So I don't think it's warranted necessarily, but I can understand it.
Yeah, I think I agree, Steve. I think there's an element of fatigue. I also think there's unfortunately that usual weird corner of the internet where, the incel corner where they're like, oh, there's too much diversity in the latest. I see like a lot of shit about WandaVision and about Captain Marvel and the Marvels, because it's a lot of diversity and female empowerment and that. So there's that usual corner as well. But I think otherwise it's just a little bit of fatigue. But I'm with you, man. And personally, Guardians 3 is like my most anticipated movie of the year, and I am so excited for next
I am
week.
seeing it for free next Thursday.
Oh,
I'm so excited. Like, my day job is not the funnest thing in the world, but occasionally they try to bribe me with movies, and I accept every time.
Nice.
As you should.
Yeah, it's a free movie.
Yeah, hey, it's a free movie. There you go. And it's Guardians 3. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
It's reviewing well.
I know.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
I can't wait. I'm ready to cry. I'm going in with just ready to just weep throughout the whole thing, because I know it's going to be sad.
Yeah. Disney Duncan back with one more super chat saying, with $2, says, can't wait to play Jedi Survivor. I really want to try it. Funny story. EA reached out to me and they're like, hey, we want to send you Jedi Survivor. And I was like, I love Jedis and surviving. And then I never heard from them again. So somewhere I think maybe it's because the performance issues that we're kind of seeing across the board on every platform with the game, which is unfortunate because I think great games can still have performance problems, but don't know how it plays. Looking forward to trying it eventually. Finally, we'll do two more and then we'll hop into the podcast proper. Rec BCQ with $2. Future Redeemed is so freaking good. I love it. And I'm just going to point at everyone to my right because I haven't even started it.
Y'all are mad people, because Brandon and Daniel, you've already finished it somehow. I am trying my best.
Yep.
I'm going to try to marathon through the rest of it this weekend. So because I have not gotten to take place in a proper Xenoblade 3 discussion on our channel yet. I beat the original game way too late for our discussion. So I'm really trying to have it finished by next week so I can talk about it with you and John. But I'm mid chapter 3 right now, and no spoilers, of course, but the fan service is it's so good. There's so much I want to say, and I can't.
This is the fans Xenoblade content right here.
It's so good.
I finished it super fast because I am doing a video on not just Future Redeem, but also just the expansion pass. So hopefully I can get that done by sometime next week. So I wanted to get through it really quickly, but Brandon also, Brandon and John, we the three of us just kind of steamroll through that.
You really did.
I'm just shy of 100% in my
Holy
file right
hell.
now.
How?
You monster.
I don't even know how. I
The
took the middle road.
Good, man.
I think John more or less did more of a beeline to the end, and Brandon is doing like a completionist run here. I'm kind of in the middle. I did kind of a good amount of exploring, but also advancing the story naturally as it comes along.
I'm kind of doing the middle road like you.
Even doing most of everything, I only clocked about 24 hours. So it's not insurmountable. And I think John, despite beelining it, still took him 17. Yeah,
he only explored other areas just a little bit, but still, it's more or less an average of 20 hours depending on how much you do in that story. But still, very much worth it if you enjoy Xenoblade at all.
Well, and it's not even just that for the DLC, because just to turn it around on you for a second, Steve, you and I also have to talk Burning Shores at some point. And so I'm trying to get through that as well.
I need to get to that.
And it's really good so far.
It is. It's fantastic.
I forgot.
And so we got that to talk about. So I'm really trying to just hammer my way through both of these DLCs, but they're both excellent.
Maybe I'll try and play that before Zelda. I didn't think Xenoblade was going to last me 2 days.
I know, right?
But you're Brandon.
Brandon, I'm going to know something's up, though, man. If the baby arrives and you're still somehow beating these games so quickly, I'm going to know that you have access to some sort of pocket universe or some shit, and I'm going to want the deets, all right? And so I'm just telling you.
I mean, I'm just going to point at my last name and let that speak for itself.
There you go.
Making it happen.
All right. Well, thank you for the super chats, both Disney Duncan and Rec BCQ. I'm gonna bang out 2 more here, and then we're on to the show. Jaden Buck with $5. Crazy question Fridays. Crazy question number 80. What has been your most embarrassing spelling or grammar mistake that you made every single time I have swapped the word sec for sex? Simple.
Oh man,
Give me a sex.
I love that. I'm trying to think. I mean, being a copy editor myself, like those are doubly embarrassing for me. I hate making them, and this isn't quite a typo, but during a stream at the old channel where I think what was I streaming? I think Capcom Beat 'em Up Bundle. I just had like a brain fart, and I got to the first boss of Final Fight, and I said, "Oh damn, no, it's damned." But like the font that the Capcom used in those old arcade games, it's hard to tell between the D and the O. And so I just had a bit of a brain fart. I'm like, oh, damn, no. And I was like, oh, shit, no, it's damned. I promise I've played Final Fight before. I'm not a scrub, I promise. But it was pretty embarrassing at the time.
Better a brain fart during a stream than a regular fart.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. And finally, to just bring the tone way down from that terrible joke, Ross Krispies with 20 pounds. And I'm skipping a few, but I feel like this merits it. Ross Krispies writes, hey, GVG, this week really sucked. My cat Simba was put to sleep on Tuesday. He would have turned 15 years old today. He was the sweetest little guy, so goofy, friendly, and a gentle wee soul. Happy birthday, buddy. Love you. That is heartbreaking.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Happy birthday to Simba.
Yeah.
I hope that we're able to at least provide you some comfort. I know how difficult that can be. So
absolutely.
Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for the super chat, Ross, and our condolences from everybody here at GVG.
All the good vibes to you, and happy birthday to Simba.
Indeed. All right, folks. So I feel like we organically covered it, but what have we all been playing lately?
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeem.
For the Nintendo Switch family of systems?
Exactly.
Amazing.
The video game.
It's like I said, I've been trying to split my time between that, Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores, and whatever theater rhythm I can fit in whenever. The new wave of DLC came out this week, and I haven't had a chance to play it. It's the second Nier pack, and I haven't had a chance to play it this week yet, or play it yet, but I'm going to get to it as soon as I can. And I haven't had a chance to play much Battle Network, but I'm gonna at some point. I just, it's just not enough time.
I'm gonna network some Battle at some point too, but I think I've just decided I'm going to wait for a physical copy. Like I've decided that's just the goal now. I want a physical copy. Damn it. And I've had people like in my mentions reach out to me. They're like, "Hey, I'll go buy one in the UK and ship it to you." I'm like, that feels like cheating at this point. I want to find it. Like I'm hunting for it now.
Nice.
It has to be available to me.
They're hard to find.
That's honestly part of the fun for game collecting. Like I see a lot of game collectors who don't want to be handed stuff because they want the thrill of finding it out in the wild.
Yes. That's kind of where I'm at. Go ahead, Daniel. Sorry.
Yeah. I've been playing a lot of, the entirety of Future Redeemed, but I also dabbled with Honkai Star Rail when that released earlier this week as well. By the people who developed Genshin Impact. So if you look at it, you can immediately tell who developed this, because the production quality is some of the best ever you see in video games. Absolutely amazing animation and the way it looks. It's like Genshin, of course, but also it's more turn-based. Like it's a turn-based instead of the whole action exploration style. I haven't done too much with it just yet. I've only have it on. I download it on my computer. I have it on mobile. I want it to be on PS5 or on an actual console before I actually dive into it a bit more. But it's pretty cool so far. A lot of good quality of life changes that I wish Genshin had, but otherwise, that's pretty much what I've been playing this week.
Daniel, I'm glad you're here, because I've been wanting to ask you about this for a while. One of our patrons, Vash, turned me on to Blue Protocol. And I have to know if you've seen that game, because it feels like, as somebody who's like a Genshin super fan, that this would be right up your alley.
I remember we saw that. Brandon and I both saw that, and it's like, is this what's going to bring us together? Because there's like Monster Hunter and the whole Genshin kind of properties put into one. And once that comes out, I think we're going to take a good look into that. But yeah, we've definitely heard of that one for sure. I know Vash is talking about that as well.
I ran the not beta, but like a test, right? Like a hardware test for it on my PC, and it lets you create a character. Damn, I want to play this game so bad.
We'll all play it together.
Yeah,
give it a shot.
This is definitely a game we need to revive the multiplayer streams for, because it looks thrilling. Like it looks to me like PSO, Monster Hunter, and Genshin Impact mashed together. And Vash, let me know when this comes out, man. I just need a DM immediately when this comes out.
Nice.
Yeah, down to do this together. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I'm obviously suffering from like a giant hole in my heart where 2 hours of Tears of the Kingdom was.
I know,
and
man.
nothing feels quite like I was playing Breath of the Wild like a madman until I got to preview Tears of the Kingdom, and now I'm just like, it's not the same. So
I was so happy for you when you found out
man.
that we'd be getting to do that, and
yeah,
that's awesome.
It was a great opportunity. It was funny last night. So if you guys saw my really hastily put together short, I got the Zelda Switch OLED last night from my local GameStop, and the dude recognized me at the counter. He was like, "I saw your Zelda preview, bro. I've got your OLED right here."
Oh, snap.
And I was like,
That's
"Oh
so
wow,
great.
that feels cool."
It does, doesn't it?
You're a celebrity.
I was like, "I'm famous at a Mesa GameStop."
It's the most random thing, right? Like, we have a CVS across the street. Actually, you've been there with me, Steve, when you come visit. We have a CVS across the street.
I've been there.
Yeah, right. And there's an employee there who, like, they're a fan of ours, and they talk to me about the latest videos they've seen every time I go there to buy whatever. And it's just the coolest thing when that happens randomly, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
It really is.
Sometimes I have been stopped in a urinal before, and that wasn't my favorite.
Oh dear.
Maybe not that. Okay.
Yeah, I was at PAX.
Good vibes.
I was at PAX a couple years ago, and I was like really tired, and I was shame eating on the ground. Like I had a hot dog,
no.
and I was just trying to import it into my face as quickly as possible. And someone just plopped down next to me, and they're like, "Hi, are you Steve?" And I was like, "Leave me alone."
Oh no.
I'm clearly at my lowest point.
Just want to eat my hot dog.
My most vulnerable form, please.
I was like, give me like 38 seconds because I'll finish this hot dog faster than that. But no, I love it when people approach me, but there are definitely some times where I'm like radiating the wrong energy for that.
Right.
But I appreciate everybody that comes up and says hi, even if I'm pissing or eating a hot dog. It's just a funny story afterwards.
You might regret saying that first one.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't mind somebody talking to me because I'm not going to turn around. but it's when you get like a hand on the shoulder. I almost killed Brandon.
Yes, I am Steve Bowling.
Hands on hips too.
I didn't need that image while I was drinking that.
We need to clean up in the bathroom, please.
Man, I almost gave his child a superhero origin story.
Am I gonna be Coke Zero Sugar Man?
I was thinking more like Batman. Like, what if you choked? Do we know? Is it a Batman or a Batgirl? Do we know?
We do know.
We do know.
It was.
It is a Bat Girl.
Oh yeah. All right,
She's
now we
gonna be a girl boss. I'm already
Nice.
ready for it.
I love it.
Very nice. Well, yeah. I with you as a dad and Michaela as the mom, that's definitely going to be a girl boss for sure.
Oh yeah.
Especially Michaela. Michaela is already a girl boss, or just a plain old
Ain't
boss
that the
boss.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about some stuff that happened this week. I think things happened. I mean, besides Brandon making a baby and Daniel running a Emblem Con and Ash fighting for trans rights. But let's talk about video games, right?
Hell yeah. Actually, really quick, I just want to call out Ben in our YouTube chat saying, catching you live from Portugal. You guys are the best. Well, thank you. All the way over in Portugal. It's always so humbling to know we've got people around the world watching us. Thank you so much.
Heck
Thank
yes.
That's so cool.
So we talked about it a bit. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed and Star Wars Jedi Survivor are out. Do we have something we want to add to that? Because I feel like we've been gushing about that for a little
We've already
bit.
been gushing about Xenoblade enough already.
All right,
That's pretty much it.
Let's jump right into story 2 since we kind of organically discussed story 1. The FDA, of all places, released an Animal Crossing anti-smoking ad. And I mean, clearly not in cooperation with Nintendo, but
Obviously not.
very obviously, like, there's no mistaking it. It's not like it's a ripoff of Animal Crossing for sure, and it's terrifying.
It
Like,
is
Scary.
so scary, isn't it?
Yeah, like your character goes to bed and then there's just like a smoke monster and fire.
Smoke demon that looks like it's gonna kill her.
Yeah, it is such a weird, like, I mean, it reminds me of like all the times that PETA has leveraged various video game properties to bring attention to their cause as well.
Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and just highlighting the abuses of animals in various games. But yeah, I wouldn't have expected Animal Crossing, because Animal Crossing isn't even like a game where tobacco use is implied. I don't think. Well, does someone have a pipe? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think there's anybody that
right
at all.
It's like one of the most wholesome games ever. And they're like, when you sleep.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing too, because as you said, when you watch it, it's like unmistakably Animal Crossing, even though it's obviously not done in cooperation with Nintendo. But this thing is like pure nightmare fuel, man. It's like it escalates very quickly.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that Nintendo hasn't shut this down already.
Me too.
Because they clamp down on stuff like this really quickly, and I wonder if part of it is because it is like a U.S. government agency that did it. Maybe Nintendo doesn't want to, poke the bear on this one and just kind of let them have their Animal Crossing inspired horror show. But
right.
It's still amazing to me. I wonder if they even ran this by Nintendo, if they're like, hey,
I doubt it.
I doubt it too, because Nintendo almost certainly would have been like, no way,
There's
dude.
no
way
you're doing this.
Not going to associate their wholesome Animal Crossing with smoking and tobacco usage and nearly dying from this smoke monster demon.
Right? Like that is such a weird off-putting ad. I'm still 50-50 on if Nintendo's going to try to shut it down. I think they have a chance.
I feel like they could.
They could. The question is, do they want to?
Yeah.
I feel like on one hand, internally, they very much want to, but on the other, they just don't want to tangle with the government. And that's why this ad still exists right now.
And there will also be some people out there being like, oh, they took it down. That means Nintendo endorses smoking. Like, obviously, that's not what it means. But some people out there.
There's no winning in this situation.
No, exactly.
There's
nothing to gain.
Lose.
Yeah, I feel like they're in a corner on this one. So
yeah.
I bet it stays up. But there's not a whole lot to say about it. It's definitely a creepy as hell ad. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it because it will give you nightmares, which I think is kind of the point. But if you're a smoker, I don't see anybody going, damn, I never thought about it in this way.
Yeah.
I never considered that it'd scare an Animal Crossing person.
I did post the Animal Crossing link in our live audience Patron chat for anyone who hasn't seen it, but I'll also post it in our YouTube chat now as well. So if anyone wants to see it, go ahead and do that.
Well, from nightmare fuel to I guess the same thing, but only for business executives. SEGA of America workers are unionizing, and apparently that surprised some people. First off, hell yeah, unionize SEGA.
I love that.
Yeah, love that for them. I think it's really important for really every development house should have some type of union. Because we all know that the game industry is rife with really crappy labor practices. I think, the only reason it's not universally known is because companies do good work at suppressing this information. I'm pretty sure there's a story like this for every major publisher on earth.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's definitely some interesting stuff here. Stephen Totillo tweeted out that in an email, it made it sound like SEGA was not fully on board with or maybe even aware of what was going on. I'll read the full comment for context. The email reads, we received word yesterday that a petition had been filed with the National Labor Relations Board by various SOA employees seeking union representation. Union matters are new to me and SEGA of America, and we are investigating considering the options available to the company. As I understand it, the petition filing means the NLRB will conduct a secret ballot election several weeks down the road for employees who are in specific job classifications to be determined by the NLRB. These employees will be voting for or against union representation. Some of you may support unionization and some not. That is your legal right. No SOA employee will be treated any differently whether they support or do not support unionization. We have a wonderful culture here at SEGA of America with a strong commitment to working together as a team. In my mind, it is the SOA employee culture that makes us such a successful company. We will be updating you regularly so that you're fully informed, understand what you can expect, and what the NLRB process is about. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Human Resources. We want all of your questions answered. And this came from Ian Curran, the president and COO of SEGA of America. So it seems like they didn't know this was going to happen.
Hopefully they do the right thing, because I know the union is giving them until today, the end of the business day today, to recognize it and accept it. But as far as I know, they haven't done that yet. So hopefully they do this right and do the right thing. But
them not knowing puts them in a precarious situation, because now if they do shut it down, they're in the bad public eye.
Yep.
And you don't want that.
I mean,
right.
So it's good on the union for doing it this way.
It's really smart maneuvering on their part to make it public knowledge before Sega can do anything about it. And now it's, like you said, it's out there, and Sega is certainly pressured to do the right thing here. So smart. I'm with it. I think that's really smart maneuvering.
The mayor of Irvine has come out in support of it, so that's even a little bit much more pressure on Sega to do the right thing here. But she supports it, and of course SEGA of America are headquartered in Irvine, so that's cool that she came out in support of it. And by the way, can I just say that the name for this union is like it has the most badass acronym ever. They're called the Allied Employees Guild Improving Sega, AEGIS, which Pyra and Mithra would clearly approve of. And that's just the coolest damn acronym, I think, for your union.
Their handle is take Aegis. Like, to be this good takes ages, which is a Sega logo from back then.
Nice.
That is fantastic.
They're playing on that one, yeah.
Yeah.
That is really, really good. I like that that's essentially Sonic's fist, too.
Yeah, that's the glove.
That is amazing. Yeah, it looks like they even had Katie Porter from Congress support them, so that's
nice.
That's pretty big.
That's big. Yeah.
For something like this to happen at Sega, and hopefully it's successful, will probably make some waves, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the games industry is pretty much ripe for unionization, and it's just been through the effort of people keeping quiet that it hasn't gotten to where it probably should have been decades ago at this point. A lot of people losing a lot of time to make entertainment content, which is unfortunate, because when you think about it,
go ahead.
I love games, but you don't have to kill yourself to make them. I can wait.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Sega Employees does what Nintendo don't.
Ooh, man.
I love it.
It's your turn, in a way.
I wonder when that shoe is going to drop, because we all know, like I said, I think it's true not just of NOA, but of every publisher everywhere. And so I wonder how this is going to shake out for the rest of, the people working in the games industry, particularly within the US. I don't think it's going to happen in Japan anytime soon. But here in the States, I think that this is long overdue. I think it's long overdue in Japan too, but I think there's just a different culture over there that, unfortunately, I don't think we'll be seeing unionization efforts overseas. It may be in Europe, though.
All right.
Anyway, I think it's great. I think that, we definitely need this. It's an important first step towards reform within the industry. But we'll see where things go from here. If they have to know today, then I guess by next GVGcast, we'll tell you how this all worked out.
I sure hope they do the right thing. But more
please, Sega, do the right thing. I like you guys so much.
I know, right?
All right.
I tolerate you.
I tolerate you. Hey, I love Phantasy Star. All right, before we get to our next story, which is sure to make Ash explode in
I figured it would make both of us happy, man.
Yeah, but you more than me.
Well, sure. Fair enough.
Let's read out some super chats because we have a few stacking up here. Raul Los Santana dos Santos with 11 Brazilian real says, "Hey GVG, glad I could catch you guys live in my weekly job hunt. Do you guys think Nintendo will do a traditional direct this July or something more like a partners showcase or a mini direct?" I am of two minds on this. I think that with the cancellation of E3, and Nintendo was very clearly out in front of that, I think that Nintendo may not have some strong plans for the June-July timeframe that we're used to.
Yeah.
I think we see something in the August-September space instead, because I feel, this is all my gut, that Nintendo needed some more time. Like whatever they're working on that would be direct ready needed a little more time in the oven.
Regardless, like September is typically like a big direct for Nintendo. So that just lines up.
I could maybe see like a direct mini or like a partner showcase in the middle of the summer. That wouldn't surprise me, but I agree. And the only tricky part, I guess, is they need to remind people that Pikmin 4 is coming, right? So I could see that as maybe being part of a direct mini or something, but yeah.
Or game-specific presentation.
Or game-specific, maybe Pikmin 4 direct, yeah. One way or another, they need to remind people that it's coming. But other than that, yeah, it seems like maybe they might just be waiting until their usual big September direct.
Yeah, they really they kind of, for most years, it's like they're just pressured to have something ready and available at this time that everyone expects the industry to have something to present in the June, July area. But if they're like parting away from that, as many companies now are with no more E3, they're free to post it whenever they are, whenever they are ready, whenever they want to show it, whenever they have enough to show that they don't have to maybe not do a mini direct at this point. Maybe mini directs like last year, I think it was a mini direct, but it felt like a proper direct at that point. But I think they're going to start to just go on their own schedule by the beat of their own drum at this point.
Well, and it also is quite a few people in our live audience chat are rightly pointing out Nintendo have confirmed they're going to be at Gamescom this year
for the first time in 4 years.
Exactly. So that also probably figures into their plans, but I'm
going to play devil's advocate on the Gamescom thing. I could be wrong. I don't remember anything coming out of Gamescom in 2019 from Nintendo.
You're right, though. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah,
I think the timing coincides really well, especially if they skip a June direct. But I wouldn't point to that data point specifically as evidence that Nintendo's going to drop something big, because last time they were at Gamescom, they just didn't do that.
Right.
So we'll see. I hope so, though, because there is also the fact that they are cozying up to Jeff Keighley by going to Gamescom, right? Like he's kind of co-opted that show a little bit, and he's now running what is seen by many as the direct competitor to E3 and Summer Games Fest, so which we'll be at, and I can confirm that. I had to wait to see if I was clear to say that. I will be at Summer Games Fest. Ash will be at Summer Game Fest, I think. I
might be there with you. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I'm going to try to be there with you.
We'll figure it out, but I'll be there.
I'm supposed to be at a convention with my dad, I think in Pennsylvania that weekend, but I'm going to try to see if I can split the time because I want to be there with you.
Yes, I'm gonna fest some games.
Yeah.
Whatever you do there is what I'll be doing. All right, but thank you so much for the super chat. Astro Aegis with $5, just talking about Aegises. Hey, have you guys heard about Waypoint? We lost some really good journalists. Yes, we have. In fact, a friend of the channel, Patrick Klepek, was running the show there. And so unfortunately he's, back out looking for something. And I'm sure Patrick is immensely talented. He's been in the games industry forever. He's going to find something. I kind of hope he lands at Axios with Steven Totillo, because they did great work together at Kotaku. But wherever he lands, I'll be paying attention because he's awesome. The rest of the team there, of course, awesome people. The landscape of this industry sucks sometimes. So.
It does, and I hope everybody affected lands on their feet. Of course, we all do. I agree, Patrick will be fine, but I hope everybody lands on their feet.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the super chat, though. Tinker with $5. Play Triangle Strategy. That's it. Lol.
I would love to. That's one of those mini games I'd love to play sometime.
Yeah, same. Eventually. There's too many games.
We're
like 2 weeks away from Tears of the Kingdom. Damn it.
It's crazy. I know.
And then no other games will exist once Tears of the Kingdom comes out.
I am yeeting every other game as soon as I get that. I thought about it. I'm like, I'm still trying to frame because I'm going to review it. And I'm like, people already know what I'm going to rate it probably. Like, I don't, it's not, I'm pretty sure there's like a 98% chance I won't be like, man, it sucked. But if it did, that'd make a really good video, though. I should just do that. Tears of the Kingdom sucked. And then just tell a million lies.
Biggest disappointment.
I'm so disappointed. With it, man. I fell after I got it, and I hurt my arm. It made the game awful.
Yeah.
anyway, Rec BCQ with $5. Future Redeemed is the first time in Xenoblade Chronicles where I was compelled to complete everything. The character moments in the side content is so good.
It really, really is. As I said before, there's so much incredible fan service in Future Redeemed, and I think the gameplay loop is my favorite of any Xenoblade game yet, regular or DLC. There are lots of things that Future Redeemed does. It just makes the gameplay that much more addicting, and I really like it.
Nice. All right, Ash, are you ready? Have you hydrated?
I am, but actually, I'm ready with two
strong?
things, actually. I have two things I'm ready for. So the first thing is some breaking news regarding who our last Super Chat just came from. That is, of course, our good friend RecBCQ, and their birthday was this last Wednesday on the 26th. So
happy
belated birthday, Rec, and we hope you had a wonderful, wonderful time, wonderful birthday, played lots of great video games, and ate lots of good food, and hung out with friends and family. So happy birthday to you.
Nice. Yeah, happy birthday indeed.
All right.
All right.
Thing.
Ash has laid down a towel. He's probably ready to talk about this.
Laid down a towel.
Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection has sold 1 million units worldwide, and it's now the fastest selling game in franchise history.
Woo! That's
amazing.
Amazing. Like, it's only been out for a couple of weeks, and if you know Mega Man sales trajectories, like that's a big deal for Mega Man. Only like 3 other Mega Man games have even hit 1 million, and this one hit 1 million in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
It's interesting because it makes me wonder. Obviously, this is the type of thing that talks to a company like Capcom, right? And Capcom, for whatever reason, has not seen the value in this franchise in the way that they should for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
We have not gotten much like wasn't Mega Man 11 the last like net new game that we got that wasn't a re-release?
And it hit 1 million after several months, I believe. But it did hit 1 million, but it took several months to do so.
Exactly. And so what I find interesting about this is this has to point Capcom in the direction of like, oh crap, why aren't we making new Mega Man games?
You would hope so. I really hope that's the case here. At the very least, I hope it means that they're asking themselves, why aren't we making another Battle Network game? So maybe we'll get Battle Network 7 out of this. Who knows?
You know, and the funny thing is, that's not what I want at all.
I know.
I mean, we all know what I want.
Oh yeah. I mean, me too. I mean, I think you and I both pretty much want the same thing. I think most of us who are Mega Man fans in any capacity probably want the same thing, which I'm guessing for you is Legends 3, right, Steve?
Legends 3 for me, absolutely. But I would absolutely fuck with X9 if we got X9.
That's what I want. I want Legends 3 or X9. One of those two.
I'm shocked that hasn't happened yet.
You and me both, my friend. I don't understand it, especially after they talked like 2 years ago about how happy they were about Mega Man 11's performance, and we're working on the next big game in the series. 5 years later, where's it at, Capcom? I know COVID and everything, but come on, at least something, a logo, an announcement, or something.
And we had, I'm struggling to remember it fully, but we had soft confirmation of a new Mega Man game.
Right.
Ash, keep me honest here. It's been years at this point. Was it X9 or was it?
No. So they didn't actually say what it was, but then you know that Capcom Giga Leak that happened a couple of years back? It had references to 2 games, actually. One was called Rockman Tyson, which loosely translates to Mega Man Match, and it apparently had a bigger budget than most Mega Man games to date. We're not really sure what that is, though. And then later on, sorry?
Sounds like a fighting game.
It sounds like a fight. Like it sounds like it could almost be like a mobile game.
It doesn't sound like that to me. It sounds to me like a strategy RPG.
That too,
because Tyson is often used in like Fire Emblem-y type games,
right?
Like in the titles.
I was thinking of this Tyson.
Oh yeah, Gekito Ninja Tyson. That's true too.
Yeah. So I don't know. It doesn't sound like something that would be immediately interesting to longtime fans, but that still hasn't shown up in any capacity. And then that same Giga Leak also included references to Rockman 12, which was originally supposed to release at around the same time as Street Fighter V's final wave of DLC. But where's it at? There's no 12. There's no Tyson. I don't know what's going on over there. But even though they paid so much lip service to them saying like, oh man, 11 sold so well, we're so happy with it, we got the next big game coming.
Who
I don't know.
knows?
It's hard to
Who
say
knows?
because like Capcom's content lineup is honestly pretty stacked. Like
Right.
they have Exo Primal, they're still pumping out updates for Sunbreak. Monster Hunter 6 is going to get announced later this year. There's several Resident Evil games have come out. Like, what's the proper window for that?
Right.
I think that's more the problem is just they don't have the development resources to commit beyond what they're because Capcom is in a period of extraordinary output. Like they are releasing tons of stuff, and I mean, I guarantee you the same folks that would be making a Mega Man are working on some of these other things that Capcom unfortunately sees as guaranteed successes, or at least as more plausibly successful. And I will say, of all the things in Capcom's current slate of games, I would put money that they are going to be disappointed by Exoprimal's performance. I think it's a great
150%,
idea for a game, but when you play it in practice, there's just something core to the experience that's missing. It feels incomplete, and I couldn't even tell you what the thing is that it needs.
Right.
But there's something there that just makes it feel like they haven't finished it. And who knows if that's going to slot into place before the game comes out.
Well, and we were just talking about how their development resources are stretched pretty thin these days, and I think there's really something to that because there was a news that broke last year, I think early last year, that revealed that Kazuhiro Tsuchiya, who was the producer of Mega Man 11, has now been drafted onto Street Fighter 6's development team and is now splitting duties between heading up Mega Man and working on Street Fighter 6. So clearly, as we were just saying, some of that Mega Man talent's being pulled onto other releases that they know are going to be slam dunks, like Street Fighter 6. And it sucks for us Mega Man fans, but I also get it, like from a business standpoint, I get it. It just sucks when you're waiting for the next big Mega Man thing. But hopefully this Battle Network Legacy Collection selling 1 million so quickly is the kick in the pants they need to kind of give this series the love it deserves again.
Yeah, agreed. Man, I gotta say, I'm like keeping track of our super chats, so my chat is not live, and I just saw in all caps, Steve peed on me. And I know what you were talking about, but it's really jarring to see out of the corner of your eye. Anyway, all right.
There's a story.
Yeah, exactly. Man, that would be a story on the show, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I don't want to think about it. Anyway, let's get some more super chats out of the way, and then we've got our patron topics. If you don't know, executive producers and above right here at GVG can submit topics for us to read each and every episode of GVGcast. You can find out more at patreon.com/GVGaming. But for now, let's talk about Storysmith with $9.99, who writes, need to choose a game from my backlog. Choose Persona 5, 4, 3, Xenoblade 1, 2, 3, Nier Automata, Triangle Strategy, or Live Alive.
That's a hard one.
Ooh, that's really hard.
Man, how many hours do you have?
Yeah. I'm split between... Oh, go ahead, Daniel.
Most of these will take you 80 hours or so. If you're looking at Persona 3, 4, 5, Xenoblade games, I would say Nier Automata from this list because it's not a huge game, but it's also there's a lot packed into it, and you would get a really very solid experience from that. So then you can move on to another game on this list, which I probably would say maybe Persona 4 is a good one. If you have more time on your hands, that's a good Persona to start with if you want to.
I'm split between Nier Automata and Xenoblade 1, by which I mean Xenoblade Definitive Edition. But kind of like what Daniel said, Nier is so much shorter, but it's also absolutely required playing. It is a masterpiece that I'd rather you play that because it's shorter, just to make sure you get to play it and then move on to one of the other super long games on your list, all of which are worth playing. But I think personally, I'd go with Xenoblade 1 Definitive Edition.
Live Alive is also relatively short.
You know, Live Alive is also really short. It's really good. I just wouldn't put it as quite on the same pedestal as I would Nier Automata.
Absolutely.
I'm going to speak from a place of personal jealousy and say, play Persona 5. If you have the 150 to 180 hours to play that game, fucking do it. I don't have it. I wish I did. It looks like an amazing game that I'd love to beat someday. One of these days, when I break a leg or an arm, I will finish that game. But until then...
Absolutely.
Yeah, but also I think, speaking from a more critical sense, Persona has had the greater cultural impact, I think. Probably the greatest of all those games in the list. Might not be the best game, but it is like the most spoken about, I think. All right. Well, anyway, that's all I got to say because I've never touched the game, or at least I've touched it very little. All right, we got 2 more super chats. Purity Chalice with $4.99. Happy Zelda Swola Day. I've been rocking the Day 1 Switch and Sheikah Slate case until today. Brandon, you're going to be a great father. Agreed. Cosign.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's going to happen. And he's not giving birth to a Yoshi, we found out. All right. And finally, Hustle Bones with $9.99. Thank you so much. I caught all the Xenoblade discussion, but I missed the Jedi talk. I am almost annoyed that it's reviewing so phenomenally, and apparently the story is incredible. I have too many games to play. We really just talked about the fact that none of us have had a chance to play it yet.
Yeah. I'm almost relieved that I'm a casual Star Wars fan because I don't feel like I have to make time for this right now. And I feel like I can safely skip it for now because there's just too much else to play right now. Yeah,
Right.
The first game didn't really do a ton for me personally.
Same,
so.
actually. Yeah, it didn't really for me either.
The thing that killed the first game for me was the map. And I've heard that it is dramatically improved upon in Jedi Survivor. So I'm tempted to try it. I enjoyed what I played of the first one. But yeah, it's definitely not like a super hype rush out, get it right now and experience it. But yeah, it has performance issues across all platforms. From I trust the guys at Digital Foundry. That's what they say, and I believe them.
Right.
All right, with that, we are ready to move on to our patron topics. Ash, I'm going to go ahead and start with you, since alphabetically you'd be the first one I'd choose.
All right. Well, my topic this week comes from Andy Chung, aka Dark B Andy, who asks, does anyone remember that topic where Miyamoto confirms Mario's age is around 24 to 25? After watching the Mario movie and Chris Pratt voicing him, does that change your mind on Mario's age overall or not? And this is such a great question because I'd actually already thought about this after seeing the movie, a couple weeks ago before I saw this question. And weirdly enough, before seeing the movie, I was like, Miyamoto, you have lost your marbles. You are really full of beans because there is no way that Mario comes off as a 24 to 25-year-old character, mustache or not. And I was really digging my heels in about that. I'm like, there is no way this character is supposed to be in his mid-20s. But, the movie kind of brought me back around on that. I can kind of see it now. And it's weird. And it could just be the way he's characterized in the movie. I wouldn't necessarily go and play the games and think, all of a sudden retroactively, oh yeah, this looks like I'm playing as a character in his mid-20s. But the way he's characterized in the movie, I believe it. I buy it. It's weird, but I do. And it might have to do with his family being there and the whole theming they've got going on with his family and the whole father-son dynamic. But yeah, I see it in the movie, and I never thought I'd say that.
I think one of the things with Mario is the only reason people perceive him as older is because he has a mustache.
Right.
Because you strip the mustache away, dude's got a baby face.
That's true. Yeah,
that is true.
It's weird though. Yeah, I don't know. Something about the movie. Just he's characterized as believably younger and in his mid-20s. I could see it.
I think for me, it was more the cultural stuff going on around Mario, that his business is a fleggling business, that he still lives with his parents, Yeah. That very much feels like your typical 24, 25-year-old.
Right.
You wouldn't see somebody that is 10 years older than that, realistically, that's not usually how people picture a 35 or 40-year-old. Which is how he reads to me visually because of the mustache.
Right.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to Brandon.
Thank you for that, Andy.
Thank you.
So
Sorry. I didn't mean to just skip over that part.
No worries.
Where are my manners? All right. Brandon, let's go ahead and jump over to yours, my friend.
Mine comes from Dad Alpha Lion. Says, is there a video game or movie character out there whose voice performance resonated with you so much that you could listen to them read out their grocery shopping list and not get bored? Kratos. I could listen to him speak for the rest of my life. And honestly, I wish he would narrate my life. He has that such deep resonance and commanding voice. He's so powerful, and I'm like, that's what I need, man. Gas me up.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Man, I think for me, it's got to be the great Leonard Nimoy as Xehanort. I could listen to him read things off all day. Cereal, turkey,
love his voice.
Yogurt. He could totally just read a grocery list forever, and I'd just be so arrested by it because he had such a singular vibe as Xehanort, and he was so incredibly talented. So yeah, it's got to be Nimoy's Xehanort for me.
Nice. What about you, Daniel?
Guys, this is like very particular because now that we were talking about Honkai and Genshin, I have that in my brain. Keith Silverstein does an amazing voice with Zhongli in that game. And if you haven't heard him talk, please do. He's very calm, very deep in his vocal pronunciation, and it's I could just listen to this man talk about tea or whatever he's having for his day all day long. I'm trying to think of a character that more people here like know, but no one's really coming to mind at the moment. But
Man.
what do you have, Steve?
I have a Fire Emblem character.
Oh, all right.
I thought for sure Daniel would go to the well on that one. I was like, I hope he doesn't take mine. David Lodge as the narrator in Fire Emblem Three Houses.
No.
Oh,
Like those little
Yeah.
cutaways between chapters. Chapter 4. I was like, please read me to sleep, David. I actually tweeted that at him once, and he's like, you're welcome. And I was like, oh shit. I didn't think he'd notice me, but yeah, I mean, he does a great job as a Geralt too, but that narrator voice is so damn soothing. I would pay money to hear him read me stuff.
Isn't
So
he also Jiraiya in the Naruto dub?
Ooh, that's a good question. I believe it or not, I've never watched the Naruto dub. And Brandon, I know you've watched it a lot.
I have the entire thing on DVD that I collected as
you
a
watched
kid growing
it,
up.
and then you edited Roger watching it too.
Oh yeah, I sure did do that. I'm pretty sure it's David Lodge. Yeah.
Nice.
Chad is agreeing. Yes.
Jiraiya is one of my favorite anime characters of all time, so now I need to watch that.
David Lodge does an incredible job as Jiraiya in the dub.
Nice.
If you ever finally do get to Persona 5, he also does Igor, his voice in that one. Very menacingly as well. So if you ever want to feel threatened by David Lodge, play that game as well.
Threaten me, daddy.
There is a phenomenal choice being put forth by our live audience patrons that I just have to say, due to recent events, Lance Reddick. You could have, I would listen to Silence read off a grocery list anytime. Rest in peace. What an incredible talent.
Yeah, I do have to point out, just because I know, Ash, you'll appreciate this as much as I will. XQ Jonah in YouTube chat, Ted Cole is Tatewaki Kuno.
Oh,
you know
God,
what? Yeah,
yes, I didn't
it.
see that. Oh, man, the Ramna love. I love it.
Hell yeah. All right.
Just because we're on that topic real quick, Rick BCQ with the $2 super chat saying, I want to hear the wonderful voices of the Nopon. Riku, I could listen to Riku. I could listen to Riku talk
Riku
all
or
day.
Banana. Either one.
So
Riku
good.
or Banana in a second.
I do appreciate that Riku is... What was the Nopon in 2? What was his name?
Oh,
Tora?
Tora was so horny. It was like off-putting how horny he was.
I hated Tora so much. Yeah.
Riku was such an improvement.
Yeah.
The English localization specifically gave Riku a very distinguished, deeper voice. If you listen to the Japanese version, it's a typical squeaky Nopon voice, but they intentionally made him much deeper for the English localization,
and
which
it works.
I appreciate.
It works so well.
It works so well.
Yeah. At first, when
He's
I first
always
heard
like-
him, I was like, but now it works.
I love when he gets upset when he's not like included in on the plans. He's like, Riku's here too.
Yeah.
Like,
Why did
hell
Riku
yeah,
be
you
mentioned
are.
last?
So good.
I love that. But thank you, Dad Alpha Lion, for that question. Daniel, let's go ahead and jump over to yours.
So my question comes to us from Akil P asking, is there a game that you loved as a kid, but looking back on it, you realized it wasn't actually that good? For me, sorry, Brandon, it's Glover.
Damn.
how dare
I know.
you not love the glove?
Wow,
right
you
there.
just had that ready.
Yeah. With the re-release
Damn.
of Glover on Steam last year in November, we also got physical copies, and Brandon got a physical actual plush of the glove. Listen, I was renting games from Blockbuster back in the day, and when I ran out of games to rent, I saw Glover and I thought, that looks like a game. I'll give that a shot. And I played it, and I guess I enjoyed it an amount because I rented it more than once back then. But upon replaying it, no, I would not recommend it.
It's not a good
That
game.
looks like it.
There's like it's just hard to control the glove with the ball at the same time. The music is like royalty free stock music for generic 3D platformer game. I mean, I've never actually completed it. That'd be a fun thing to do on stream one day. We'll just go all the way through Glover one day.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's legitimately difficult at a certain point. Yeah.
Man, I'm trying to think. I'm having a hard time coming up with anything. Hustle Bun, that's a good one. Sonic Heroes. That's
he played bangers only, apparently.
I know, right?
I have a stock answer. It's also a Sonic game. I've tried so many times to play Sonic Adventure 2 again.
What?
Oh.
I can't
Get out of here.
That's a good game, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm gonna slap you.
That is peak Sonic.
You know what? Adventure 1 better than Adventure 2. Don't at me.
We're gonna play that on
but
stream.
a bad
You're gonna
game,
like it.
Bad game? You know Sonic 06 exists, right?
Well, did anyone ever think that was good, though?
Listen, I'm going to trump all y'all because you guys are mentioning games that could be seen as good in some way. I'm going to one up you with a game that no one will think is good and that the universe tried to scream at me was bad, but I was young and too stupid to care. I'm talking about Montezuma's Revenge for the Sega Master System. It's a game named after diarrhea. It was made by Parker Brothers, and it looked and played like an Atari 2600 game. And I loved it. Like, unironically loved it. I played probably like 100 hours of this game as a child and never beat it. Google it. I want you in the audience, if you're watching me talk about this right now, go find a Let's Play of this thing and tell me why I chose to play this. A company that made board games published a video game named after diarrhea, and I played it. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, it's literally just you're a dude, and you can walk in a straight line. You can jump like 8 centimeters in the air, and if you stay in one room too long, you die. That's it. That's the whole game.
Right.
It is awful.
I'm having a hard time coming up with a good one. I mean, I don't want to steal Hustle Buns because I agree. Sonic Heroes, I think I remember convincing myself I really liked it at the time, but going back to it is very difficult. But I don't want to steal yours, Hustle Buns. So since Brandon's drawing blood, I'm going to draw some blood too. And this, Steve, is kind of like, unfortunately, like what you said, is a game that is still, I don't think it's a bad game. I just don't think it's as good as I thought it was. And that game is Super Mario Sunshine. I loved it as a kid. As a teen. I loved it as a teen. But when I tried to go back to it, in the 3D All-Stars collection, I bounced off it after like a couple of hours, and I had no desire to go back and play any more of it. And I was like, what the hell? I used to be part of the defense force for this game. I was one of the holdouts. Like, everybody hates this game. I think it's really good. Y'all don't get it. Maybe I was wrong all along, and it just was never that good to begin with, at least compared to it. To 64 and Galaxy. I'm not saying Sunshine is
it's definitely not good compared to those.
Yeah, I'm not saying Sunshine is a bad game, but I don't think it's as good as I thought it was either.
Here's what I'll say as the king of the Mario fan club. It is a bad game. I wouldn't recommend it.
Nice. If I have Brandon's endorsement there, I feel much better about it.
Wait. A bad game or a bad Mario game? And I feel like that's a gulf of difference.
That's totally fair, yeah.
It's a bad Mario game. It's a decent video game with a lot of poor design decisions.
Yeah. I think that's how I feel about it, too. It's not a bad game in a vacuum. It's just, it's so disappointing compared to almost every other 3D Mario game.
Yeah. You're comparing this to what we got with Super Mario 64 on one generation ago at that time. And I remember I begrudgingly 100%ed it when it came out on the 3D All-Stars collection. And me too. It's just like, it's not complete. The fact that they had to filler 24 shine sprites out of 120 with the blue coins, which in itself is terrible to collect throughout the game. That's 24. Design. That's 24. That's like a couple of worlds worth of shine sprites that you could have had instead of limiting yourself to what they gave us in the final game. And yeah, that part is a major sticking point for me that I just cannot handle it whenever we go and play those again.
And those blue coins are specific to episode.
The blue coins are nightmarish. Like, when you actually do 100% it is incredibly gratifying when you do it because it is so difficult. But man, getting there is such a grind. Like, oh man, it's so hard.
Because
go ahead, Daniel.
No, just because they if they could mark blue coins, that'd be a lot easier. Because when you reach the final ones, it's like I don't know where to go to find these at this point, and it's irritating, especially if you want to do the 100%, which doesn't give you anything except like an extra little picture at the very end, which makes me mad. It's
not worth it.
No,
it's not worth it.
Definitely not. No. But yeah, like I used to say, I used to like kind of say that about Twilight Princess, but like when I went back to play Twilight Princess HD, I still enjoyed it more than enough to finish it and play through it all again. Mario Sunshine,
I agree. Yeah.
I didn't. I bounced right off it. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good on this.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Man, that sparked some discussion, didn't it?
Sure did. Sure did.
Way to go. Let's see. Did everybody get their answer? I think we did. We did.
I think so.
All right. It's time for my topic. Mine comes from Moon Knight, who writes, do you think games should come out with 2 or 3 discs to be able to preserve them physical, or should they outright not even do a physical if a game is too big? Jedi Survivor apparently does need a download to play, and I went digital because what's the point on a physical if it still needs to download a big chunk of the game? Well, I picked this for a reason, and it's because I think game preservation is going to get really weird in the next 20 years because games ship incomplete all the time now.
Yeah.
Like it is the standard practice now to have a sizable day one patch that makes the game in many cases playable. Like what the code on the disc won't work for a lot of games that ship these days. And I do wonder what that means for the future of preservation of games. So I think the games industry has kind of tricked us into the all digital future that they so desperately want us to get on board with, because those physical games by and large are not what is representative of the game on release day. It's like a build from weeks or even months before that has tons of bugs, some game breaking, that if you were to just preserve the games as they ship physically, you wouldn't have the complete picture.
Now, those update versions or those original versions should also be preserved. Like we should be preserving every instance of a game, of a game state. So
I agree.
Like we need those, but we need all of it.
We're already seeing that with the takedown of the eShop. There's a lot of games on 3DS, for example, where they need updates from said shop to be able to play properly in certain instances, or just, certain DLC that you can't get anymore that's lost to the void at that point. And how do you preserve that when you're going mostly digital with these sort of things in this age?
You look at Smash Ultimate, and there is no ultimate version of that game with all of the DLC characters and stages.
Yep.
Yeah,
right.
In Smash 4, they're gone. You can't really get them anymore now.
That's true.
They
are gone.
And as our patron Top Dog points out, remember when Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 on the Switch was half physical, half digital? This shit's been happening for quite a while already.
Yeah, I truly think that the future of gaming is just digital, and unfortunately with the way the industry is trending, it's going to be people who hack their consoles and rip ROMs that are really going to save us, which unfortunately is also the way the industry is going, because right now preservation efforts are unofficial, entirely unofficial. It's just from
what
people.
Gerard did.
Yeah. Gerard spent an ungodly amount of money to preserve the contents of the Wii U and 3DS eShops, and it shouldn't have been his burden to bear. It should have been Nintendo and the developers, archiving these somewhere, like in a location that is centralized and available. I do think we are at least entering an era in which games will not be so readily or easily delisted. I think within the next 20 years, we won't have shops that just wind down with the platform that was out at the time they came up. I do think we're going to have long tails on these platforms. Sony's already there. Microsoft is kind of there too. Nintendo's really the only one that doesn't have a multi-generational eShop. But it seems that Nintendo wants to go that direction. It's the best thing for consumers, and frankly, it's the best thing for the company too, because if I can go out and buy a game 20 years from now that was on sale 20 years ago, I'll buy it before I'll pirate it. But right now the issue is people pirate games because they have to go to eBay and pay $600 for a game that was $30 20 years ago. So yeah, I don't think discs are really helping. I don't think physical media means what it used to mean. But I think that, we're at least taking baby steps towards a better preservation for games, but we're definitely nowhere near close to where we need to be.
Yeah. Really quick, just as Alpha Line pointed out in our live audience chat, speaking of our good friend Gerard, his Let's Play channel, Super Beard Bros, got hacked recently alongside Did You Know Gaming. So all of our love is going out to both Gerard and Did You Know Gaming, because they're obviously both friends of ours, and we really hope they're able to resolve that soon. I heard about that today, and I was just like, oh man, that's, it happened to Roger too recently. And
do not
as well, so.
open PDFs from people you don't know. And I don't mean that as like a ha I told you so. I mean, that is literally how this is happening to people. So for those of you that don't know, 9 times out of 10, this is somebody posing as a brand, offering a deal, right? And GVG, we've done sponsored content, we've done deals. Verify who is sending you this stuff. Know that it's a person that actually has the right to make you that offer, and that can be tough. You need to know what to look for. But if you're not sure, and I'm not kidding, open it on a device you wouldn't otherwise use. Open it on a device you don't run your YouTube channel from. If you're sketched out about it. Because that's what's happening to everybody, and unfortunately it's just YouTube needs to up their security. They should recognize that if you usually log in from one country and suddenly you're logged in from the other side of the planet, I don't know, maybe give a YouTube channel with 2 million subscribers a call. Like, call them on the phone and say, hey, is that you? If my bank won't let me buy a $30 tank of gas because I'm on the wrong side of town, you'd think YouTube could protect somebody with 2 million subscribers.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I noticed you're nuking all your videos and talking about crypto a lot. That seems legit.
Jesus.
It's like Gerard has already gotten the channel back.
Oh, has he? Okay. Because he hadn't done, I don't think at the time that we started the show, I don't think he had. But Did You Know Gaming still has not. They are still Ripple cryptocurrency, which is just heartbreaking.
That is, I hate to be businesslike about it, but that's a lot of money lost too. For these folks. Like, they depend on this channel and its video views, and it's shameful that YouTube hasn't restored it yet, because they can. Yeah. They absolutely can. They've shown time and time again they can do it. Yeah. So just fix it, YouTube. I'm sure it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but we know you're capable. Right. Fucking hell. Anyway, I hope no one at GVG opens a weird PDF anytime soon. We don't need that headache. Never. But anyway, folks, that's going to wrap it up for episode 54 of the GVGcast, at least after we read these last few super chats from you guys. Y'all are lovely. Thank you so much for the support. We have Toon J, $2, Super Mario Sunshine or Super Mario 64 DS. Sunshine, baby. 64 DS was rough.
64 DS if I could play with proper controls, but otherwise, sure, I'll go with Sunshine.
I think I agree, yeah.
Yeah. That's a rough one to go back. Back to, but it's. I can control everyone a bit easier on Sunshine than I can with the D-pad on 64DS.
Agreed. All right, Disney Duncan with $5. What do you think of MVC Infinite? I personally like it because it was my first in the series. Plus X and Sigma were my mains. Ash.
Yeah.
Man, that's the only good thing about that game. I hate to break it to you, Duncan. I'm glad that you like it, and I would never begrudge
Monster Hunter's playable. That gives it 1 point. For me, 1.1.
I think the marketing and the visual direction were absolute ass for that game, but I will stand by the fact that I think the gameplay is actually pretty damn fun. Not as good as like UMVC 3, but I actually think it is pretty fun. But yes, it did finally add X to the roster, which is all I really wanted. I just crossed my fingers that he comes back for the next MVC game, if there is one, that people actually like. I really hope they keep him in the roster. We'll see.
Yes. I sincerely hope we get a revival of MVC. And speaking to Disney Duncan's next super chat, is MVC dead for now? Lots of things at Capcom stay dead for a long time and then randomly come back. So give us an MVC 2 remake, though, please. More people need to be converted back to MVC 2. And then finally, Disney Duncan with $2 more. Who's reviewing Tears of the Kingdom? I will fight for that.
Oh, dude. It's got to be you. You did that amazing.
It's me.
It's absolutely got to be you if you want it.
No, I absolutely want it. I don't think we're getting Tears of the Kingdom ahead of time. So I'll just say that. So if and when we have a review, well, when, it's not an if for a game of that magnitude, but when we have a review, it will be post-release. In fact, I already started sketching out some ideas for how I can convey my sadness about not getting an early copy at the beginning of said review, because we have to do something. Unfortunately, it's funny when you get a game after it comes out, you have to go really above and beyond with a video to make it stand out. So we'll see what we do there. I'm sure that I will draft Brandon to help me make that video look like not a potato, and then we'll go from there. There we go. So yeah. All right. Thank you so much for the super chats. And finally, one last one from Disney Duncan with $2. Happy 15th anniversary to the MCU. Wow.
I don't want to. 15 years already.
I don't want to
Jeez.
think
Oh my
about
gosh.
that.
No.
Right.
One more thing really quick before we head out, Steve, just one more little bit of breaking news.
Yes.
Darksteel01, our good patron Darksteel01's birthday is tomorrow. So happy almost birthday to you, Darksteel01.
Happy birthday. Hopefully
Happy
you're
birthday.
older
Play
than
lots
the
of video
MCU.
games. Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, with that.
I will be right back. Although we're going to go, but hang on just a moment.
All right. Ooh.
I'm excited.
That was so dramatic the way it went.
I know. What's Daniel got cooking? I'm excited. I don't know what to expect here.
I'm guessing we're gonna wait on the credits.
Yeah.
How you doing, Chad?
I got the impression he wanted us to just keep going.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
did you? Okay,
Never mind.
cool.
Never mind. All right. Well, with that, we've reached the end of episode 54 of the GVGcast. Thank you all so much for watching, listening, however you're interacting with us. We appreciate it. But we do have to give a special thank you to our patrons at the producer tier and above. Y'all help make this show happen. I know we lost Ash. You don't need to tell me. But you're here in spirit, Ash, I promise. No, I just lost you in the visual. But anyway, thank you to our producers for helping this show happen. Somnia, we got you on the back end of the credits there. I know that we missed you last week. But anyway, we have to give an extra special thank you to our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And those fine, lovely, wonderful folks include Brandon Bovia, Cutie Caitlin, Fangs, Z Patty, Just Brian, Sky Blue Flames, Eastman 23, Adam O'Sullivan, Richard Herrera, Logan Daniel, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Blake, Critter XD, Joy Content, Angel Martinez, Vedran, Joshua Hunter, Benny Yao, Blindman, Azran127, Black King, Pagrema, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Kyle, Wataniac, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Shomix, Andrew Medeiros, Brady Power, Darchie, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Killamox, Sean Davis, Michael McCaw, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber CPHT, Too Much Spaghetti, Bane 400, Ascaron 809, Rioner, Nathan Steele, Raining Clouds, The Game Orb, Super Gamer Dude 101, Grantles, Ravelox, my mom. Hi, Mom. Mega Amster, Skull Kid Tiger, Dark Steel 01, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Cystic Warrior 29, DJ Jursic, Super Tank Awesome Unicorn Guy, Derek, Colin, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Keel, Moon Knight, Brendan Hesse, Hustlebun, Noah Fitterer, Calvin Atkinson, Brainchild, the entire state of Wisconsin, Jim Wakeland, Longboy Shiggy, Aramis Baramis, Dad Alpha Lion, Lord Metarex, Kyle Gamer and Barry Rookie, Blaze Collard, Eric, Cat Evie Person 5, Lady Maxillary, Peyton Thiel, Mega Beatman True Blue Reviews, Young Ant, Ryan Hanley. I didn't see the end of it there. Woo! That is the entire list. Thank you guys.
Hey,
so
everyone,
much for
so good to
watching.
see you.
Daniel's on your screen.
Do you
right
like
now
Fire
because I forgot
Emblem?
to disable his
I
ad.
might be.
EmblemCon's gonna be dope, I promise. Anyway,
Now I'm here.
thank you
That
so
was
much
surprising.
for watching episode 54 of the GVG cast. That's going to do it for us. We're headed to our patron exclusive post show where I may or may not try ranch ice cream because I hate myself. Hope you're happy, safe, and healthy wherever you are. Until next time, folks, good night and good vibes. Bye.
See you next
Bye,
time.
everybody.
Meet again.
Bye.